beautiful humans. How are you? How are you? How are you? I hope you are doing beyond amazing, beyond amazing, beyond amazing. Welcome to my second attempt at filming this video. The first time I tried to film it, I was home alone and very uncomfortable, so the video was a mess. So hopefully it works out this time. Also note, I do not have my nails done today, and that is perfectly fine. Anyways, so today's video is going to be a spooky story time. These are going to be a bit lighter than the ones that I told in my past 2 videos. And so I'm going to start off by lighting this candle. This is amber patchouli, and it smells really, really good. My rings. exit the premises, or I'm gonna look up on the top bunk, because I thought maybe one of the kids that came in the room and, you know, went to sleep on the top bunk, and I hit them with the shirt on a mistake, so they threw it back down. So I just sat up really quick and got off the bed and looked up there, and there was no one in the room. It was just me. And instantly I just felt this fear come over me. But like I said, I was extremely tired that night. So I just decided to crawl back onto the bed and go back to sleep. As I laid down and climbed underneath the blankets, I thought to myself, I must be really tired, because had I been fully awake, I would have bolted out of that room. I fell right back to sleep afterwards and forgot about it the next morning. It wasn't until later on that night that I remembered it and was like, oh. I didn't mention it to anyone because I didn't want to scare them. But no, I was not dreaming, and the shirt was definitely thrown off of the top bunk. Pleather, 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 pleather tapping, pleather tapping, pleather, pleather, pleather. Okay, so this next story happened when I was around 6 years old, living in Louisiana. This did not happen to me, it happened to my youngest brother at the time. Well, it happened, I experienced it with him, but so it was me and 2 of my other sisters. I was sleeping in their room, so we were all like, just the 3 of us, you know, sleeping in the bed. And my parents were out working late, so we had a babysitter, and she was the worst. Oh my gosh, she was the worst. My oldest sister was downstairs with her that night, as well as my little brother, and I just remember hearing the babysitter scream me and my 2 other sisters' names, and we just kind of sat up quickly, like, and she's like, come downstairs, come downstairs. So we just get up and we run downstairs, and the 3 of them are standing up in the middle of the living room, frantic. My brother, he's crying. My sister is looking really confused, and the babysitter's trying to comfort my brother. So the babysitter told us that my brother was saying that something was in the house. Something was in the house, and it wouldn't stop staring at him. Now, he was the only one that can see whatever some parts because it's not necessary information. So next, we're standing in the kitchen, and the kitchen had a big glass back door with vertical blinds. And my brother is telling us that it's outside, it's out back. So the babysitter opens the blinds, and we're just staring into the dark of night and looking at our reflections in the glass door. And my little self is terrified because I'm afraid of seeing something in the house. You know, it's a reflection while our backs are facing the rest of the house. And once again, he said it's just there, it's just staring at him. So the babysitter decides to go fill up a cup of water and toss it in the direction of the back door. And so, I kid you not, I would not lie to you all, she throws the water on the door, and the water forms the shape of a clown. The clown's hat, the clown's fit, you know, the ruffled sleeve top, the big pants, the shoes. And I start crying immediately because we're asking each other, do you see it, do you see it? And it's just as clear as day. And so she tells us we are going to her house. We're leaving and we're going 4 doors down to where she stayed. So we run upstairs and we're grabbing our jackets, you know, changing clothes or whatever. And we rush downstairs, and she's standing at the door with my little brother, and he's suited and booted and ready to go. And she opens the front door, and he says that, sorry, getting a little uncomfortable. He says that it's now in front of the door, and it has something else with it. And they don't want us to leave. And then he starts going into details about the interactions between the two, which is something very frightening that I don't want to get into. And so the babysitter, she just scoops us all together in her arms and pushes us out, and we just run down to her door. And it's dark outside, it's late. I believe it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, if I'm not mistaken. And we're trying to, you know, push each other to fight to be in the center of the group, to feel secure and safe, because no one wants to be in the back and no one wants to be up front. So we get into our place, and it doesn't help. It doesn't make anything better. We get into her place, and her place is dark. The only light on in the house is the kitchen, and she has like all these figures of different things. I remember ducks. She had statues of people. She had like weird paintings on the wall, but there was also like frames and photos of clowns in the living room. So we all sit in the living room on the floor, huddled up, crying and frantic. And she had the same back door as us as well, and her blinds were pulled open as well. And I just remember being so afraid of seeing something in her backyard through the glass. And she even had like this cable that came down from her roof that just kind of hung in front of the door. It was like ground, it touched the ground. I don't know what it was, but I just afraid of something climbing down the rope and trying to get in. Like, of course, in my mind at the time, I'm thinking the worst because anything is possible at this point. So, we're just sitting there trying to figure out what we're going to do. Are we staying the night? Are we going home? What's happening? So my brother is just frantic. He's upset. And so the babysitter grabs him a glass of water and a peach. And so we're all just huddled up together, crying, confused, afraid. And my brother drinks his water and he goes to eat his peach. And he took two to three bites. I wasn't really counting, but he took a few bites of the peach. And I remember the last time he went to go in and bite the peach, had spoke with my sister before filming this video because I wanted to call and confirm the event, and I just thought it was really interesting that the bunny, if you watched I think it was my last Spooky Storytimes, I talked about that little stuffed bunny rabbit that I had. She reminded me that I had got that bunny from the babysitter that she had gifted it to me. I completely forgot about that until she brought it up, and I just thought that was really strange. So that's it for the spooky stories, my beautiful humans. Okay, let's just call this a bonus story. It's not spooky, but it's about my babysitter. Okay, one time I was over, not her house, it was like we were friends with this Muslim sister, and she was friends with her as well. And so we were over her house playing, and I was in the backyard playing alone with my wild imagination, and there was like a wooden plank in the backyard, and